welcome back to Woodford County Hometown Highlights, the podcast where we highlight the people, stories, and hidden gems that make Woodford County so special. I'm your host, Tulor Bennett, and today we have a special guest visiting us here at the main library, all the way from the Midway branch. She's not just a branch manager, she's also the creative mind behind so many of the fun crafts you see coming out of Midway. Welcome, Delilah Gibbins.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, I have to say, you are way more than a branch manager. You're basically the creative force behind Midway. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with the library.
Okay. I grew up in a very small town in eastern Kentucky. Most people haven't heard of my actual hometown. They've heard of the Hindman Settlement School that's 45 minutes away. So I grew up in a very artsy place. But I was more into books than I was into literally anything else. Mm-hmm. So I grew up reading stories and escaping that way. But I was also a crafty kid just because of the environment I was surrounded by. So I just gravitated towards the library a lot. I started working in the high school library my sophomore year, I think, and then continued that throughout college. I was a craft kid for 2 years at Berea, and then I switched over to the college library there. And then I worked in Madison County for 3 years, and I've been here for about 2.
Well, we're glad that you're here. We have to talk about the crafts because people, including myself, love them. Where do you get your inspiration from? Are you a Pinterest queen or just a natural talent?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like I said, I was a craft kid, so a lot of the things that we do are things that I want to do or wanted to do when I was little. Mm-hmm. But then I have to give credit where credit is due. Pinterest is my love language, basically. I have so many boards on there of different ideas for things to do, both at home for myself and then at the library for everyone.
And how many glue guns have you ran through?
Oh, girl, probably more than I can actually count. It's kind of sad.
So what has been your favorite craft or program you've done so far?
Oh, it's so hard to choose. I think my favorite kids program was the travel series that we did, or travel program we did with the preschoolers last year. We made little suitcases for them out of cardstock and printer paper and stuff like that. And they got to decorate them. Mm-hmm. They got to have a ticket that said traveling to the moon, and they got to sign their name on it, and they got to pack their suitcase with the essentials like a toothbrush. There was a book in there, some pajamas, some shoes, that kind of stuff, and a stuffed animal, of course. And they got to go around the library with a little passport we printed out for them and collect stamps from different parts of the library. So there was a different stamp in different sections, and they had to go around and collect them all. So they had so much fun. We had so many people being like, oh, they're going to go to the moon now. Like, all of the littles were so excited about going to the moon that day. Yeah, so I think that's probably my favorite one.
As I mentioned before, my favorite craft that you done was the summer reading last year, the photo booth and the crafts that you created.
Yeah, it was all the paint chips. It took me 5.5 hours to do that.
Super good, though. I loved it. So for people who haven't been to the Midway branch yet, how would you describe it?
I think I'd describe it as a cozy tree house. We're kind of set up above the hill and the park behind us. So I think with all the windows that you can see now that we've done our little makeover, mm-hmm. It's much more bright and airy and open. And you can see out into the woods, I guess is what you'd call them, at the park. And it's just, you feel like you're up in the air, mm-hmm. Above the little river, the stream, or the bridge and stuff like that out there. So it's really nice.
I think we might have to steal that from you and market it like
the
that.
Little treehouse.
Because I love that. And it just makes so much sense. It fits it. So like you said, Midway has its own vibe, very, very cozy and creative. Maybe a little glitter in the air.
Oh, gosh.
What makes that community so special to you?
I think it's, like I said, I'm from a really small town. So everyone knew everyone and everyone knew everyone's business. And I think Midway is similar to that. A little less of the everyone's business. But everyone knows everyone. And it's so homey and cozy and just warm and welcoming. And it's really nice to to be new in the area and feel accepted almost immediately. Yes. Like, no one questioned who I was and where I was from. They were all just like, oh, welcome to Midway. Like, we're so glad you're here. Yeah. So it was really nice to feel like home. in a place where I'd never been.
Agreed. What does a typical day look like for you as a branch manager?
You never really know. The old saying, I guess, is other duties as assigned. You could be gluing stuff together for a preschool story time 1 hour, and then the next hour there's a snowstorm and you're shoveling snow outside. So you really never know. I've done a little bit of everything, and you can't expect anything because it's going to be different every day.
Yeah. What's something people would be surprised to learn about your job?
About my job, it's a lot less stressful than most people think. It does have its stressors, but it's not as demanding, I guess, mentally. Like, it's not gonna wear you out as much as people might think, because I'm dealing with people all the time. But it's people that I want to deal with, and so it's actually pretty nice because it's a nice little, I get to explore this world with other people where they may not have understood that they needed these stories. So it's nice to be able to help them. And I think that's probably my favorite part of the job, is helping people.
You also have a really good team.
Yes, I have such a good team. They're so good together.
So what do you think crafts and hands-on programs are? Why do you think crafts and hands-on programs are so important for the community?
I think it's the sense of belonging that it creates. It's very much a connection builder. Like, you're going into these things not really knowing who's going to be there and what you're going to be doing. You kind of know the gist of the craft that you're going to be doing, but there's always things that you could learn from it. And you never know who's going to be there. So it's a lot of people coming in from places and people with different experiences experiencing something together. And I think that's really important in the camaraderie of the community.
What would you say to someone who hasn't visited the library in a while?
I would ask them why. I am in the mindset of there's always something that we can do for not everyone, but most people. You can't always please everyone, but you can try to at least figure out what you can do for the people who are not coming in. Like, is there a program that you'd like to see? Is there a book that we can get for you? Is there something that we can do that would bring you back to us so we can help you more?
And what would you have to say to people who thought about coming to the Midway branch but hasn't yet?
Again, I'd ask why. Not in a bad way, but in that same mindset of, is there something that's holding you back? Is it because it's so small? Is it too far away? Like, what can we do differently to bring you in? Like, is there something that we're not doing enough of?
And what is coming up at the Midway branch that people should check out?
Ooh, so the big thing is obviously summer reading is coming up.
Yes.
This year's theme is all about unearthing a story.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing a little bit of dinosaurs, a little bit of archaeology, and a little bit of earth science. There's going to be some experiments. There's going to be some different little activities that people don't really expect. We might be doing a Dino Olympics.
Ooh,
that's going to be fun.
I like
that. So yeah, that. And then we've got just our regular programs, the weekly programs that we do, like the book group on Monday afternoons at noon, where you can read whatever you want to read and you don't have to worry about being judged about it. You just get to be heard.
Yeah.
Our Tuesday story times, we do a 10:30 and a 4. Those are always fun because you never know what topic you're going to be learning about. And we learn ASL. We've been learning the alphabet, and we've been learning little animals that go along with the alphabet. The kids are having so much fun with that. And then we have Craft Afternoon on Thursdays. So it's always a fun elementary school group there. And you also never know what kind of experiments or crafts that you're going to be doing there. So it's been fun.
Okay, so I wanted to play a little game with you before we close out. It's just going to be quick questions.
Okay.
And you pick which one you like.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Somehow both.
Favorite craft supply you can't live without?
Embroidery thread.
I like that. A trend you love to bring to the library?
I think I want to do more like silent book clubs or like a TikTok book club.
I need to learn more about that. This is the first I've heard of that.
Oh, girl. It's so much fun because then you get to read like the books that are trending in spaces where you wouldn't necessarily be, like
Okay.
the romance novels that were trending, or like a fantasy novel that was trending, and you get to experience those stories even though that's not something you would normally gravitate towards.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to put out there that I didn't get to touch on?
Just that we're looking forward to seeing everyone. We want to see your smiling faces at the Midway branch, so we're happy to help y'all.
Well, Delilah, thank you so much for coming to the main library and hanging out with us today. This has been so much fun because I've learned a lot of new stuff. If you haven't visited the Midway branch yet, this is your sign. Go check out a program, try a craft, and see what all the fun is about. For more events, visit our calendar online or visit us inside the libraries, the Midway branch, and the main library to grab a hand-printed calendar and follow us on social media. I'm Talor Bennett, and this has been Woodford County Hometown Highlights, part of the What's Up Woodford Network. We'll see you next time.